For your students to succeed, they need to learn how to get the information they need to independently solve real-life problems, big and small. Let's say that for their design project, they want to learn how to brew beer. They need to understand the physical and chemical processes, and the tools required, the materials used, and much more. This is a scientific project that starts with an idea. Let's make a brewery, but students need to go back to basics. They don't know anything about the beer brewing process, so they need to find reliable reference works to determine precisely what it is they will do and what steps they will need to take. Then they need to model the brewing process. Let's begin. In Knovel, search for beer brewing. The first results are key reference books. Selected chapters help students dig deeper into the steps they need to think about, painting the picture of the process flow diagram, as well as the steps needed to build the brewery. This chapter contains a diagram that explains the process of turning barley into malt, as well as a second figure that helps the student identify and scope out extent of the deliverables they need to shoot for. Additional peer-reviewed content can help them verify this information and identify the specific parameters they need to account for. There are also tools to facilitate citing the information. Here is how this translates into a simple PFD. Barley goes in, process name, malting. Result, malt. Malt goes through different processes to become wort. Then wort goes into the fermenter and beer comes out. Then beer goes into carbonation and packaging and results in a sellable product. Let's focus on the first process, barley turning into malt. When looking that up in Knovel, the student can learn more about the process. The first section shows specific information about what to start with. Moisture levels, how much water needs to be lost in the system, etc. The PFD can be updated to reflect this information and would now look like this. The process starts with the drying of the barley. Again, searching in Knovel, the student can find dedicated resources for drying and storage of cereal grains and use the insights to plan the process further. When it comes to what fermentation tank to use, it is essential to understand which materials can host a fermentation process. Using property search, students can look up fermenters and find documents around compositions of engineering alloys, then select a material such as stainless steel type 302. This material itself can also be run in the property search, which delivers the properties of stainless steels. With Knovel, students can design a process from start to finish, just as they would in industry, using information from trusted sources which professors can verify. Find out more at elsevier.com/Knovel.